Hi everyone, welcome to Java Techie. Real-time notifications are critical feature for many modern applications, isn't it? Which enhance user engagement and improving responsiveness of your product. So in this tutorial, I will guide you step by step on how to build a real-time notification system using Spring Boot and WebSocket. Okay? Alright. So without any further delay, let's get started. So before we directly jump into the code, first let's understand why do we need this real-time notification system. So let me give you few real-world example which already implemented this notification system and we are also using them in our day-to-day life. That way you can understand how helpful is this. Now think about the chat application which we are using in our day-to-day life like WhatsApp, Instagram, Slack, Discord and many more. Now, you must be familiar that in this kind of chat application, we have some option called create a channel or create a group. Imagine I have created a channel called Java Techie in WhatsApp. Now, also there are few member registered to that channel or subscribed to that channel. Okay. Now consider those member as a client 1, 2 and 3. Now think if client 1 sends some message to that channel, then do this C2 and C3 client or C2 or C3 user needs to refresh their page to get the update about the messages? No, right? Once the C1 publish the message to the channel, since the other user C2 and C3 already subscribed to that channel, the message will be auto display on the chat box. They no need to keep refresh the page to get the messages. This is one of the best example of real-time notification implementation. Next, you can consider another best use case, that is live sports update. Now think there is a World Cup going on and I just want to quickly check the score. Then I can use the application like ClickBuzz or ClickInfo, and there are many more third party applications who give you the live feeds about the sports. Okay. Now what happened once I install this application on my device or once I open this application on my browser, I will be registered as a client to their app. Then any update they will publish, immediately it will get auto refresh on my page. Okay, I will immediately get that update. I don't need to keep refresh the page to check the score of India or score of any individual team. This is another example of real-time notification implementation. Now the best example which you can easily understand, that is order tracking and updates. Now imagine I am using Swiggy, Zomato or any food delivery app and I have ordered something. Then I want to check the status of my order. Then I will open the Swiggy or Zomato app. Then I will see, okay, what is the status of my order. It will keep update once your order is received, once it is ready for dispatch, once it is prepared. Everything will be auto update on the Swiggy or Zomato app directly, right? Like this. Can you see here? Order received, it is on the way and it is delivered. All the things will be auto update. You no need to keep refresh your page to check your order status. This is another example of real time notification system. And you can also consider these OTT platform like Amazon Prime, Hotstar and Netflix. Now let's consider about the Amazon Prime. So there are users who subscribe to this Amazon Primes. Now what happened if there is any new movie added to the Amazon Prime, or if they added any new web series or anything they added new, immediately it will be update on their page to all the subscribers or to all the users who subscribe to this Amazon Prime server. Okay, that is another best example of this notification system implementation. Okay, so these are the different real world example who already implemented the real time notification system. So we are not going to design such complex application, but what we'll do, we'll create a simple application and we'll understand how this client and server can communicate with each other using WebSocket Storm client. Then we'll also understand how the auto update display on the browser. Okay, I'll show you some real world example. Okay, so nothing to worry. Let's start implementing the code. Let's create a new Spring Boot project. Let's go to the Spring initializer. Then let me add all the required field here. Then just add all the required dependency. Just add WebSocket. Then I'll also add the web dependency. Then just add the time leaf for UI. That's it, right? Next, just generate the project and import it to your IntelliJ IDEA. So here we go. Now if we'll go to the pom.xml, we have added the Spring Boot starter time leaf, web dependency and WebSocket. And if you observe, we are using latest version of Spring Boot. So all good. So at first step, we need to enable the WebSocket support in our project. Okay. So for that, what you can do, I'll just create a config class. I'll name it something like WebSocket config or something like that. Okay. Now since this is my config class, I need to annotate @configuration. To enable the WebSocket support, you need to add the annotation enable WebSocket message broker. Fine. Now this is the class where you enable the WebSocket message broker. But did we configure the broker related information? No, right? So to do that, you need to implement your class from WebSocket message broker configurer. Okay. Then there are two default method which you need to override. First one is configure message broker. Here you need to configure your message broker, in memory message broker like topic. Then another method you need to define for your stomps endpoint. Okay, so register stomp endpoint. Now these two methods we need to use. So by defining this annotation, we enable the message broker, WebSocket message broker. Now you need to add the required configuration. So for better visibility, change this variable name to config. Now here what you can do, config dot enable simple broker with the prefix slash topic. You can give prefix any name. I'll tell you the purpose of this. Okay. So what happened? This is the topic prefix where the message will be broadcast. So if you remember how we are seeing the messages in this live sports update, they keep update their messages to some broker, or you can consider as a topic. Okay, it's not a Kafka, but still think in that way. It is just a messaging channel where you can update your messages. Okay, so for that the prefix is topic. Now if you have multiple use case in your code, you can define okay slash topic slash cricket. This is one channel. Similarly, if you want to publish other event, you can define slash topic slash orders. So this will be your prefix of your broker. Append to that, you can add any suffix. Okay, so that is the reason you can see here. This is destination prefix. Now what is the next? You also need to define config dot set application destination prefix slash app. Okay, so you can define this any name. Let's say I want to define Java Techie. That is fine. That is my prefix. Okay, but keep it simple. Let's keep it app. So what does it mean? Set application destination prefix. This is nothing your endpoint URL. Okay, prefix of your endpoint URL. So something, let's say someone want to access my application, he can define slash app, then any endpoint URL which I will define in my controller, but he must need to pass the slash app as a prefix. Okay, so these two are just define the prefix. This is for broadcasting the messages, this is for client to access your endpoint. Okay, so nothing to confuse, these are two simple methods. You just need to define to enable the WebSocket configuration. Fine. Now next, register stomp endpoints. What you need to do here, in this registry we'll add all the WebSocket specific configuration. Okay, all the stomp endpoint specific configuration. So what you can do, registry dot add endpoints, you can define /ws. You can define anything. Okay, this is not mandatory what I am defining here, you need to define the same. I am just giving the meaningful URL. /ws is something you can consider as a WebSocket. Okay, so here why I am explicitly define the endpoint, this ws define the WebSocket endpoint that client used to establish the connection. Okay, so instead of ws you can give any URL, but this is the URL client needs to use to make the WebSocket connection. Next, you can define registry.set allowed origin, or you can just do the method chaining here only. Set allowed origins, you can define the star since you don't know what port my client will run. Okay, what is the host and port my client will run. For now, let's keep it star. By define this, you are saying that okay, all the URL can access my backend app. Next, you can define with sock.js. This is nothing, just a fallback. So why are we defining the fallback here? Because there are few browsers who don't support the WebSocket. Okay, so this if the WebSocket fails, it falls back to the alternative like HTTP streaming or long pulling, whatever you have configured. So for that, to just enable the fallback mechanism, we just added this sock.js. Okay, these are the two configuration you need to define. Now if you understand these two parts, then it's dead easy to define the controller. Prefix to broadcast the message, prefix to define the endpoint URL. Fine. Now let's quickly define the controller class. I will name it something like notification controller. Then just define this @controller annotation. Next, let me define a method public who will return a string messages, who will take the input as a string. It's just a simple application. Okay, I'm just getting these string messages and I'm just publishing that or broadcasting it. Nothing to do here. I'll just return the same messages. For debug purpose, I will just add sys out. Just wanted to check whether the flow is coming to here or not. Okay, fine. Now how will you define this as your endpoint? I'll use the get mapping and I will define the URL. Right, this is not, we are defining the web endpoint, we are defining the endpoint for WebSocket so that it can be accessible by the stomp client. Right, so for that there is a different annotation. You can define message mapping and you can define the URL. Now what will be your prefix URL? If you remember, the prefix URL will be /app. So you no need to append this URL, this will by default append. This must need to be append from the client to access your endpoint. So this you can give any endpoint. Okay, let's say I will define send message. Now how the client will send the request to access this particular endpoint? He will send /app/send messages. Okay, the complete URL will be like this, but you are just defining the secondary URL you can consider, and this will be your root URL, which is nothing, your prefix. Okay, now next, in your controller, once the request reach here, what you want to do? I want to send these messages. To where you want to send these messages? I want to send it to the broker. But where did you configure the broker information? You need to tell here, right? Hey, I want to send this particular message to where? Send to, the annotation itself is self-explanatory. where you want to send. I want to send to the broker whose prefix is topic, and I can append anything, notification, or I can append order, or I can append cricket, anything, but the prefix should be topic. That is what I have defined in my configuration. Okay, so let's keep it simple. I will keep it notification only. That's it. Also, there is a message helper, you can use that send and convert method, but this is the simplest way I found to do. Okay, at the rate send to prefix and this. Now whatever the message you will send from the endpoint, it will immediately publish to this broker or this topic. Just imagine this as a topic which is in memory, which is invisible to you. Okay, WebSocket will deal with that. You don't need to take the headache of maintaining the messaging channel. That's it. Okay, now this is my server application. Let's define the client application and let's make the WebSocket connection to this backend code, this particular endpoint. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just go here, then inside templates I'll create a HTML file. Let's say name it index.html. Then I'll just add this piece of code. This is just a JavaScript code to make the connection to the backend through the WebSocket and sock.js. Okay, I'll share the GitHub link so that you can reuse the same code, but don't worry, I will explain each segment what we are doing here. Okay, so first of all, I have created one input parameter where I will give the messages, and if you see here, it called the send messages. To send the messages, if you see here, but before that, first let me give you the example of this connect method. Okay, then we'll go to the send message. So in this connect, what we are doing here, we are establishing a WebSocket connection using sock.js library, and my backend application is running on port HTTP localhost 8080, which is the default port. And to make the WebSocket connection, we have specified the endpoint /ws. Are you able to remember here? We have defined /ws. Okay, that is what I am defining here. Now in next line, we are using stomp.over. What it does, it will wrap the sock.js instance in a stomp client for higher level messaging functionality. Can you see here? We are wrapping the sock.js library to this client. Then stomp client.connect will establish the stomp connection. Okay, then I have just added some log statement, and if you see here, after I make the connection, I am subscribing to the broker, you can say, right? Stomp client.subscribe to whom? /topic/notification. That is what we have defined here. If you search it, /topic, okay, there is a spelling mistake, change it to the notifications. Okay, this is where I will publish the messages. This is the broker where I will publish the messages. So my client needs to subscribe to it. Okay, stomp client.subscribe to the same broker. Otherwise, for example, if there is an update in Hotstar, if you not subscribe to the Hotstar, how you will expect the event? If you purchase Netflix subscription, then you cannot watch the Hotstar, right? To watch the Hotstar, you must need to be part of Hotstar subscription. Similar way, in the controller, we are publishing message to here /topic/notification. So your client must need to subscribe to it to get the update. Okay, that is what we are doing. This is the simple step, guys. Okay, now in send message, we are not doing anything. Using stomp client, we are sending the message to our endpoint app send message. This is what the controller endpoint URL we have defined. Correct? This is what we have defined, right? Send message. So for separate side, I am just doing the copy paste so that there will be no error. Now what next? So notification is nothing, just getting the value and printing it. So it's very simple, right? So once again, let me reiterate what we are doing here. We have defined an input parameter and we are clicking the event send message. When we'll do the send message, before that we are making the WebSocket connection, and we are also subscribed to the broker where you want to listen the update, and in the send message we are just hitting our endpoint defined in our controller class so that the message will go there. Okay, then once message will reach to your controller, immediately it will publish to this particular broker. Now whoever subscribe to this particular broker, they will get the update. Okay, so everything I kept in a single HTML file. Let's try it out. If there is a confusion, we'll move the code to the other HTML page. All good. Now let me check what is the host and port this client will run. Let me open it directly. Okay, it will run on 63342, right? So what I can do, in my config class, instead of define star, star will not allow here. So you need to define the proper URL of your client, localhost colon 63342 if I'm not wrong. Okay, all good. So hope this flow is, I mean, you are able to understand what is the flow I was trying to convince you. Okay, it's very simple flow. That is the reason in the beginning only I explained, okay, if you understand the flow, you can design any kind of notification system. That's fine. Let's run it and we'll see. So go to the main class, simply run it. So it started. Let me clear this. Now go to the browser. Let's refresh this. Before that, let me inspect and see if there is no console error. No error, right? The WebSocket connection established successfully here, and destination is this /topic/notifications. Now what I can do now, I'll open couple of tab. Okay, so that we'll see couple of tab is nothing. You can consider them as a different client. So that we'll see if I'm adding messages here, whether it is getting update in the other tab or not. Okay, so what I can do, let me open few different tab. Now also I will inspect all the tab. All good, right? Now let me send some messages here. Consider this is my UI. Okay, so I'll send here. Let's say food delivery, right? Let's say the restaurant owner added your order is prepared. Now we send the request. Can you see here? The message is updated prepared. Did I refresh these other two tab? But still I am able to see the messages here, right? And if you see here, if you see the console, message ID 0, 1, 2. The message ID is different in all the three tab. Now let's say I will add something else. Ready. Can you see here? Immediately it's getting update in other tab as well, because these two client also listen to that in memory broker, which is nothing /topic/notifications. So since this is just a demo, I have created a single HTML page. But if you are not satisfied with it, what you can do, I'll tell you. Let's do one thing. I'll duplicate this. Okay, let's say client 1. I'll also duplicate this. Let's change it, then duplicate. Let's say this is not index. I'll just change it to admin. Okay, restaurant admin or something like that. Let it be just a simple app, guys. Now in the admin, he will only push the message. He won't do anything. So he'll just call the send messages. So for that, you need to make the connection, send messages. So just remove this. Fine. But in client, what we'll do, in client he will only see the messages. Okay, he don't have the option to send the messages. Just remove these. Also remove the send message because that is not required. Fine. Now you can also duplicate this, copy and paste, rename it to the client 2. Now you are happy, right? one admin who will publish the message, and we will see whether client 1 and client 2 page is getting auto loaded or not, or the message is auto update in their page or not. That is what the purpose of this real time notification, right? That is what we understand different type of use case. Let's see that. So what I can do, let's restart the app, then just open this admin page, then just open this client1.html and also open the client2.html. Okay, so let it be open in a single page. Now this is my admin, this is not admin. Okay, let me close it and I will reopen. So this is the admin page. Now go to the client one and just open it, then go to the client 2 and then just open it. Okay, so see here in the admin only we have option to publish the message, but these are just a client. So think cricket admin update something like India score 247 and the score, let's say 2 wicket. Send the request. Now let's see whether the message is published here or not. Can you see here? Can you see here? This is page 2, sorry, client 2, and this is client 1. Now let me add something. Let's say restaurant owner added the message about your food status. Let's say it's ready. I will send the request. This is client 1 and this is client 2. Both are getting message. Anything if you will send, they will get the notify. Did I refresh the page for client 1 and client 2? No, right? But any event published to that broker, these are my client already listened to that broker, it will be auto load in their page. That is what the main intention of use this real time notification mechanism. Okay, now this is the simple application I demonstrated about the implementing real time notification. You can try with different use case and try implementing with the better UI. For now I have already created a small application. I mean, again it's hard coded one, but having little bit enhancement of UI. Let me start that application and I will show you the real time notification approach. I mean, same kind of implementation only, but I have added little bit UI. Okay, I will also share the link in video description so you guys can check out both the code. So let me stop this. I have the different project, I mean same project, see nothing is there, same configuration and same different type of, just added the HTML. Otherwise the approach, the implementation is same as it is. Just start the app. So it started. Now what I will do, there are two HTML, order.html. Think about this is the Swiggy operated by the restaurant owner, and this is the user, me. I order some food. Okay, I want to check the status of it. So just open this order.html. You can see the simple template here, order ID with the status, and the admin have the option to click the prepared, ready, delivered when the things is done from their end. Okay, now let me open the client as well. So this is the client. Let me open it in a new tab. So here, think about the restaurant perspective, that restaurant owner have multiple order. So let's say ORD001, this is my order. So when the order is prepared, the restaurant owner can click on prepared. Let him click on prepared. Then immediately in the food app, I could see this status saying that prepared on the time. Okay. Now once the order will be ready, you will click on ready. Then immediately the status will be reflect on my app, because I am the client. I subscribe to that particular broker, or I subscribe to that particular application. Now when he will click on delivered, I got the status here. Can you see here? Order ID is this, prepared on this timestamp and everything, when it was ready, when it was delivered. Now also you can track the delivery status. That is a different story. I don't want to jump into that. Okay, now just refresh it. Just try for order 2, prepared, ready, delivered. So whatever action I am doing as a admin here, I am not refreshing my client, or being a client I am not refreshing my page. Action is taken care by the admin. The event will publish to the broker. My client will listen to that particular broker and keep update the status here. Can you see here? This is what all about implementing real-time notification system. I hope this analogy makes it clear how such a system works and help you extend your understanding to implement a real-time notification system. So just give a try with different use case and do let me know in a comment section if you have any doubts. That's all about this particular video, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Meet you soon with a new concept.